it's been, part of the growth of our store and our industry in general is more people valuing the footwear they have and understanding the thought and the quality that goes into a running shoe. It is the best for walking and every day.
Welcome to Talk of the Town. My name is Sean Bogue, aka The Tall Lender, one of your hosts. We got Matt Simmons from Simmons Media, and then our special guest here, Ed Brittingham, Bryn Mawr Running Company, which we're at hosting us today. Ed, thanks for hosting us and having us here. This place is awesome.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, appreciate nice to have you here, and welcome to the store. Yeah,
this place is so cool. My wife and I have been here a million different times. Yeah. Like, we love coming here, grabbing our running shoes, getting like that personal feel of like, at this point, I feel like you know us.
Yeah.
Like, you know what shoes, what size.
We were talking shoes earlier. I'm like, do I go in the back? Do I got a couple in mind already that we can, look at. So, that's what it's about is, we talk about having strong relationships and being a part of the community. And it's, making it a place that people feel like they can come in like, oh, these guys know me and they're here to help, and we're happy to help. Yeah.
Sometimes I even like pop my head and I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I'm sitting on the stool, I'm waving, I'm like, hold on, I gotta pop out real quick. I gotta say what's up. So yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Eagle Eye Ticket Management, where honest pricing meets exceptional service, no hidden fees, no surprises, just straightforward ticket prices that don't change at checkout. Plus, mention Talk of the Town for an exclusive 10% discount off your next purchase. Visit them today. Experience ticket buying the way it should be.
Yeah, that's what it's about in town. It's just like interconnect. I mean, I feel like we've gotten to cross paths a few times too. 100%.
So I'm definitely gonna stop in and say.
Yeah.
When I'm
gotcha.
By.
Yeah.
Next time I need running shoes.
Yeah.
I'll be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sweet. So I gotta ask. This is it's a really cool store. A lot of different shoes. I gotta ask, what is your favorite shoe in stock right now that you have?
In stock right now, I would say it's right now. I'm gonna say like the 1080 from New Balance. Now I have a shoe from Asics, the Nimbus on. I'm high cushion, softer shoe. I really like this. Probably one of the newest shoes that we have, and it's one of those that, for how cushy this is, I can still get going in it. It's just versatile. New Balance says if they only made one running shoe, it would be the 1080. So I really, really like this shoe right now. I'm doing a lot of easy running at the moment, so something that I can just put on and go for however long I want. That's been the ticket. So this is a little bit of how brands have gone with the amount of midsole. They're finding great ways to save on weight with it. So everybody's got great stuff right now. I would say that of the, however many shoes I have at home, that is one of the ones that I turn to frequently recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
I feel like New Balance has been like changing the game. They've been hot lately.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a great job. You have the style options from them, and you see that they're taking what they're getting from that and investing in their running lineup. I feel like New Balance and Asics have innovated the most the last few years, and it's great too. As our company's grown, we get hands-on insight, and we get to know, okay, in the next few years, this is the way the brand's going to go, and we're excited about what they're doing. Hoka's growing a lot. Brooks has continued to be, industry leader for us, and brands like On we see grow. It's nice because everybody has great selection. You're right, though. We have an event with New Balance this week where they come out and they do our group runs, and it's part of the things that we connect them with our community. And New Balance does a very, very great job with it. So yeah.
How many those type of events do you do, like one a month? How does that work?
So as the brands have opportunities for us to partner with them, whether it's around new shoes, so we'll do the run around the new 1080. We usually try to do at least 2 or 3 a month. They typically happen around our Wednesday night group run. So one of them is a weekly or a monthly injury screening that a local PT, Chris Cush from Health Check PT, he'll come to the store. People can come in as they are able to between 6 and 8. If they have anything that's bothering them, sometimes, especially this time of year, it's tougher to get into a PT's office. So people can come in and get something checked out and find somebody reliable that they can talk to about it. And we try to do a couple a month, and we always want to grow it. We do off-site events too. There's a big track invitational at Henderson in the spring that gets over 1,000 people. So we'll, set up shop there. All 5 of our doors will have, women's nights, and we'll have all sorts of different, off-site events. We were just down at Airmark this past week, talking to their employees and like, explaining how important our footwear is. So yeah, we're growing in our scope of influence, which is really nice. But we always want to, make sure we take care of our group runs, which, started organically, and, it's great to see like getting 25, 30 people at least, which is, really solid. So yeah.
It's a really good number.
Yeah.
And you mentioned like you have PT come in and kind of, meet with people. How do you, so like say somebody's coming back from an injury or something like that, how would you, go about telling them what kind of shoe they need, like the structure of the shoe? How does that process work?
It's a great question, because that's, the core foundation for us is our fit philosophy, which is we want to let somebody's foot move as naturally as possible within reason, knowing that we have great PTs that can give someone that 360 view of, hey, the footwear is an important ingredient, at the same time, what are things functionally that could be playing into the injury? Because, some of the common things we deal with, plantar fasciitis, runner's knee, IT band syndrome, sometimes it could be from doing too much too soon. At the same time, we look at somebody walk outside of their shoes, and the three things that we're looking for is we want to make sure we get the right shoes functionally for their feet. We want to make sure that we get the right fit for them, making sure we give enough space for the accommodation that they need for their feet swelling. Those two things are on our end. Then the third thing is, feel. We try to match the selections that we're pulling based off of what somebody, needs for the activities they're doing. And then from there, it's also got to feel right on their feet. Sometimes a common question that we'll get is, hey, which one do you think? Well, explain the differences to me. What are things that you like between the different two? We want to make sure that we're being guides as much as possible. At the same time, someone leaves with good footwear and knowledge of what they need for themselves. So function, it comes down to the way somebody's foot moves. I mean, the technical terms that play into it, we try to present it in a way that's digestible. It's like, okay, if you have a little bit of roll in, we want to make sure we give you a little bit of structure to get your foot sitting a little more evenly. If you have a little bit of a higher arch, you might be sitting a little bit further out on your outside of your shoes. It's less that we need to correct something and more making sure you're going to wear out the outside part of it. And it's nice because it's a very straightforward type of interaction. Treat it as how you want to be treated. Make sure it's explained in a way that's, again, I can leave and go, all right, that makes sense. I know that I have them so that they can help me out. At the same time, they listen to me. It's very much a doctor-patient relationship. So, we're an ingredient. We work with our local PTs and podiatrists to make sure that people know, hey, like, if there's other things that need to be, addressed here, we will direct them accordingly. But footwear makes such a big difference. We spend so much time in our shoes. We spend a lot of time in our shoes, our car, our bed. Investing in those things is really, really important. So, we just share our service as much as we do our selection and try to help people out as much as possible.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, come get fitted by Ed.
Yeah.
We have a great team. Yeah, we have I tell people all the time. I mean, I've been here for about 10 years, a little over that, and I don't really since 2012, so it's a little longer than I remember. And
damn, that's crazy.
This is great, such a great space for all of our staff that comes in to it's really important for us to help people. So I say all the time, I mean, we have a great group. I think the fun thing too, like we have our go-tos at places like, get to go in and see the different styles, because we all have different styles the way we do things, but we all value the same thing, and that's making sure we get people in good footwear. So, yeah.
I feel like every time I'm in here grabbing shoes, there's like, it's the community here in the store, like people are popping in saying what up. Yep. You're like, like what runs people are doing. Like the guy behind me, they were like, oh, you getting ready for the Chicago Marathon or something? And I was like,
yep.
And then he's like, how's your times looking? And the guy was like 3 hours or something. He's like trying to get under 3 hours. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just trying to get my shoes here. I'm trying to restart. But you see that community and like your runs, events and stuff like that. It's just like, wow, like you kind of want to be a part of it, especially if you're running,
Yeah, and it's for everybody. We, when the first day we have staff in, we talk about, you're going to help more people that are less runners and more using shoes for every day than anything else. And it's been, part of the growth of our store and our industry in general is more people valuing the footwear they have and understanding the thought and the quality that goes into a running shoe. It is the best for walking and every day. So, we ask a lot of questions to make sure we're still getting the right thing for somebody's feet. at the same time, yeah, I mean, it's nice that these, options that we have, not only just with footwear and apparel and, our accessories and the fueling, it can help a lot of different people. So, yeah, and that runner who comes in and they're training for something, most of us are pretty well versed in that, and it's important for us to have that specialized knowledge too. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get that, like, I mean, we were joking, like, going into, like, Foot Locker or something like that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, the running shoe section's like, over there. Good luck, kind of. And you're like, oh, my gosh, you look at this wall of how many shoes there are. And it's overwhelming, too, the amount of brands and everything.
Yeah.
Where do you begin?
So,
if you're a beginner.
Yeah. I mean, it's beginning with where can we group things, what categories of shoes are there, so there's ones for someone whose foot rolls in that have good support, and the evolution of footwear for us has gone from when I started here was you had the two opposite ends of the spectrum, something that was really, really minimal. If you remember when the barefoot craze was at its peak, it's how do we guide somebody who's, interested in that natural foot placement and say, well, what are you using them for? You're out on the paved surfaces 90% of the time. Might not be enough shoe for what you have going on. But at the same time, it's something that could get rotated in. We go from the minimal shoes and then these really structured support shoes that will almost cast somebody's foot to now we're at a point where that category, it lets somebody's foot move a little bit more naturally. It can adapt. So if they have a little bit of a dip, like for myself, my one foot dips in a little bit more, my other one doesn't. So I used to wear really structured shoes, be great for the one side, and I started having a lot of issues on the other side. So, the evolution now, we have those support shoes, we have things that are neutral, let somebody's foot move a little bit more naturally, and then it's just matching the amount of cushioning to what they need. And then, that person who, again, it's 4 to 5% of people supinate, which is an outward roll. Those are just ones that there's nothing we're going to correct functionally. That's one that's really important for us to cradle that arch, give enough cushion through there. Best place for people to start is to, pepper somebody like me with questions and come in and just say, hey, this is what I'm doing. These are the things that, are bothering me. I want a shoe that feels this way. You can factor into, it's like, hey, I also want to have a particular style. I mean, that's our biggest challenge that we embrace, especially having 5 locations is, style and the color choice. I mean, that's where we compete with, online retailers. And the thing that differentiates us is we have access, and have great relationships with all of our brands that we can make sure we get the absolute right thing that somebody wants, and then they get to try it on, because this feeling the shoe is really, really important. So yeah, best place to start is just getting a good solid core pair of everyday shoes, and then going from there. So yeah, I mean, and taking steps with it, getting used to the shoes, just like activity. We want to get to a point where, okay, we feel comfortable, and then just gradually increase from there. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the technology behind shoes also has evolved quite a bit, especially recently, like you mentioned, with like the barefoot craze and all that. Where do you kind of see it going as we, move into the future?
It's a great question, because it's, finding that sweet spot for us is where we've done the best over the last, 5-10 years. So we go minimal and super structured, and then it finds a little bit of a middle ground. Then with Hoka, they were a brand that showed that maximally cushioned shoes were possible without them being super clunky. That's why those thicker midsoles hadn't existed up until the last, few years, and now everybody's doing that. So we're at, the high watermark for really maximally cushioned shoes. We're seeing, when we talk to some of our brands, how can they make foams and types of cushion where it's not as much shoe, but still as equally supportive. Because now people who have been in higher stack height shoes for a little while, they're going, hey, I want to change things up, I want to get something that works the way that it has been, but I don't want as much shoe. So that's where I see it going. Also too, if you're familiar with the carbon plated shoes, the racing shoes. So, when Kipchoge's trying to break 2 hours in the marathon, people go, well, that's something I want. And for us, we look at it where it's got to make sense for what somebody's using them for. When we talk to people who want to get into a racing shoe, and I'm like, well, are you going to use it every day? Right. It's an investment, and you got to make sure it's okay. It makes sense for, am I using it for races? Does it make sense for the pace that I'm doing? So it went from, those shoes were very, very niche to then, okay, now there's performance-oriented shoes. There's a trickle down where they learn things from those racing shoes. And now there's what we call super trainers. So that's shoes that are going to be, made to use every day, but have that performance aspect in there. So again, it's got to, make sense for the running that somebody's doing. So Philly half and full coming up here, and people are like, I want a shoe that I can use for race day. I also want to be able to use it for my training runs, and maybe they are rotating it in with a certain shoe. That has been, a progression that I think will continue. And again, we'll just see in everyday shoes that are made to be more of a easy daily trainer, we'll just see some of those performance aspects peppered in a bit more. So yeah, I mean, I see us getting into a really good place because I think maximally cushioned shoes are here to stay in a way. At the same time, if there's, opportunities for brands to make shoes that hit that sweet spot a bit more, and there's certain shoes that have done that for forever. That's some of our most popular options. They can find ways to do that in other categories. I think that's where we're going to start to continue to see even more growth, because the last few years have been amazing for run specialty, and it's, these brands are continuing to figure out how can we keep evolving and keep changing as demand grows. So yeah, that's where I would say I see it going in the next few years.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like every year I get shoes, like the cushion gets bigger.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know what it is, but at this point it's like this thick now. I'm like, it's great, I love it.
Yeah.
But eventually, yeah, I'm like, yeah, maybe revert the other way at some point,
Yeah, and I love the cushion shoes as well, Sean. It's something where the amount of outsole can give it a little bit of added durability. So the way that they can make those a little bit more, durable without being as thick, and then they can bring the soles down. We're seeing that a little bit right now. So yeah, if it feels good, that's what I'm going for. So yeah, that's the key.
Definitely feels good.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Great. Yeah, and so I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. We touched on it earlier, but Westchester is a great town. Obviously, you guys are right here on the main road in Westchester. Tell me about the community. Like, how do you guys get involved with the community, and thoughts on the town?
I love downtown Westchester. Yeah. So it's a town that people get to grow into. So being a student at the university, some of the ways that I got to be a part of, the community right away through the store was helping out at local races and, being a part of our group runs. So we have our Wednesday evening group run from the store here. We have morning group runs that are, run through our timing company. Well, it's the local timing company, Chester County Racing Services, which our store, to give a little bit of background, how tied into the community this particular location is, used to be Chester County Running Store from 2004 to 2019, and it continued to grow to the degree where our former owner, Kevin Kelly, who used to train with one of our two owners, Bob Schwelm, these guys were some of the best runners in the area. Bob's a literal legend in our running industry. He is in the Running Hall of Fame, the Running Industry Hall of Fame. Yeah. Wow. Guy went on a trip with him, and we wouldn't walk 50 feet without somebody stopping and talking to him. Wow. It's incredible. And, the way that he's continued to, say, hey, those things that Kevin established with, supporting local races, being a part of the running groups, we make sure that we're, again, talking to our local, wellness community and partnering with them and being a place that people can, grow into Westchester with. Downtown Westchester, it's been really great to see, people locally, and I grew up in Delaware County. This is a great place to be close to my family and still, have a place of my own. People who are moving here for work and they go, wow, what a great downtown community. And there's so many nice people, and, it stands on its own. The university gives amazing energy to Westchester. And, it's part of the reason why I'm here. And, when I talk to, Katie Walker and John O'Brien and those guys about, how do we keep people who go to Westchester in the area? It's, hey, where are there opportunities to work? Where are there places to live and continue to stay in the area? And, I started working here part-time, and, it's a community where there's a lot of us that, I can go up to Christian at Market Street or go to Ben down at John Supply and just talk shop. And we stay connected to our community as well. Our business community, we all just continue to, keep the conversation going and say, hey, how are you guys doing? Is there anything that, we could work together on? I love collaborating with our local businesses. I think that's when we do things with, like with you guys too. I mean, it's great. It's just having the conversation. This is a great place to be, and people describe running stores as an athlete's coffee shop. We don't have coffee here, but we have a lot of people that are
like
crossing paths. And we want to be, just to your point, Sean. I mean, it's like people that come in and they can just find a home and people that they like talking to. So we want to be a community hub in that way too. So
It's amazing.
Yeah. Especially when you're doing like you have a race coming up or something. That's like, you want to talk about the race and your training and stuff. It's like, it is like that coffee shop feel. Like, talk about it, maybe get a new pair of shoes, some new gear, some hydration stuff. Like, it's fun. That's like when it's fun. You're excited. To do a race or something like that. It's
I mean,
nice to have that community.
It gets you into it, when we talk about like New York, and it's there's the beginning of the training for Philly, and it's where do I start? I'm planning on doing Love Run in the spring. It's like, well, you got some time, so to be a part of somebody's journey, it's really cool to be on this side of things and go from that person who's, you know what, I'm not sure if I doing a half, it seems like I'm not sure if I can do it, to okay, years down the line, get to talk them through each race, and they go, yeah, you know what, I'm going to try the full, and I just want to do it for myself, and it's less I feel like I have to, and it's more like I get to, and I know I have a good place that's helping talk me through, all right, now I'm doing longer runs, more than an hour and a half, how do I fuel, So I mean, and also too, people were like, hey, I came off a major surgery, and I really need to have a good pair of shoes to, hey, now I'm out, I'm active again, I'm playing pickleball again, I'm doing all the things that I want to do. Footwear can unlock a lot of things when it's a noticeable difference from what somebody's been in. So I mean, it's a great area to be out and active. You go out to Stroud, you go to Cheslin, all the parks we have in our area. Just sometimes I ask people, like, where are you running? Like, I'm just around town. Like, tell me where you're going. Are you popping around like Everhart? You're going to like north of town, around the golf course.
What's your route? I'm always looking for a new route too, because you're trying to switch it up.
It's a great place to freestyle. There's only so much you can do, and again, like when the university's around, there's a lot going on, so it's like finding your pockets that you can.
It's always great running around like the university and stuff too. Like, that's always fun.
It's really it's great. University's a place I love running around the Everhart area. Anywhere there's just the wider roads. I mean, when we have the 5K loop, I like doing some of that, and if I can get west of town, out past. And these are some long runs out past Stroud and past Marshallton. I mean, there's some people that have been running a lot longer than I have around here that have shown me some routes that are, you get out really early in the morning, you're seeing more longhorns and deer than you're seeing cars, and it is just
so cool.
Beautiful. So I mean, there's plenty of hills around here too.
Don't get me started.
That's part of it. It's
good training though when you need those hills for sure.
It's good to get that variety in there.
If you do, I learned with the marathon, like, man, it's gonna be tough. Like, all these courses are tough.
Especially a hill that comes up later. People talk about that and back to Manayunk and Philly, and it's just a part of it. No,
it's fun though.
I
guess when I struggled as, like, when I started to get into running and then start doing like the, you move up, like you said, you go to the these little 5K, 10K, you go to the half marathon, then you go to the marathon. It's like, if you don't have the community or people to talk to, or, hey, what are you doing? What should I be doing? I'm struggling with this. How do I get better? Like, that stuff is like invaluable to me. And I didn't realize, like, once you're starting doing it, you struggle, you fail, you realize that certain things you're not doing right. Then, like, you learn your lesson. But it's like, man, I wish I had some people, like a running group or something that I wish I was running with, that I probably wouldn't have had any of those issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you also get to be in and share those stories with people too, because our staff's had those experiences. People that are in the shop at the same time, like you're talking about the person who's doing Chicago. It's bouncing things off of each other, and I mean, learning by doing is one. And some of the perspective, I had someone in over the weekend, and they were getting this gel that Martin does a great job with, has a lot of caffeine in it, and I'm going, hey, are you mixing that in with anything else? And they had said, you know what, I really have just been doing this. It's 100 milligrams of caffeine per serving. That's about a cup of coffee. And I've learned from experience, from being around it, I'm like, hey, that can, if you're doing just those 4 over the course of what, 3-ish hours, it's
a lot of caffeine.
And that person goes, oh, I hadn't really thought about that. Now, who knows how, if they're if they're used to that, that might not be as big of a difference. Those are the types of things where I go, you know, I could have made a big difference for somebody, you know, just to consider. And because, you know, too much caffeine, you could cramp up, you know, you could get really jittery, you know, those types of things. Same thing where someone's, you know, hey, I'm running, you know, a race, or I'm running around town and my shoes are bothering me, and we get to see them and we go, hey, would you mind? I just want to double check. They maybe, you know, it could be an option that's a little bit more specific to what you're doing, what your feet are, you know, like, and it could go, wow, I thought I was really enjoying this. This is so much more of what I thought, you know, running and being active was going to be. And yeah, it does make a big difference. So however much perspective we can share, and I still relearn all the time. I said to somebody recently, sometimes it's as much as I learn lessons and grow from it, sometimes I relearn them at a new level. I've felt that a little bit this year with my racing, and I am happy to help with those stories, because I'm like, yeah, you want to try to pass that along to somebody else so they have a better experience.
Sometimes you gotta learn for yourself, but
oh yeah,
but you know,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's like simple stuff. It's like the hydration,
Mm-hmm.
even like the shoes. Like I felt like I didn't realize like after a certain amount of miles, like the shoes go, and then I was getting like knee pain. And I got new shoes, and it went away, and I'm like, the little stuff that you just don't even think about, like, makes such a big difference. Like
socks,
yeah,
huge. I mean, I think even for every day. I mean, I'm getting blisters. My feet are uncomfortable at the end of the day. If I'm wearing socks that are moving around, cotton socks, you know, it can bother the feet. I mean, this time of year, I break out my merino socks. You know, they wick really well. They're odor resistant. You know, they're comfortable. So yeah, it makes a huge. You know, a lot of us live in places that have hardwood floors. You know, the UFOS brand and the slides. It's the first thing I put on when I get in my house. I can walk around barefoot a little bit at the same time. I mean, I want to save my feet a bit too. So yeah, it's nice being in a space, you know, that everything we have has a purpose to it. You know, we get to share the value with somebody, and then it's the person's decision if they feel like that's something they want to, you know, incorporate. You know, we are very, you know, we feature our footwear prominently because it's one of the most important things to have in here. But everything in our store has a purpose and can help somebody out. So yeah, it's nice.
Ed, how do we support your business, and if someone wants to reach out to you, like how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so we are open 7 days a week here in downtown Westchester, 24 South High Street. My bookmarks are always, it's across the street from Barnaby's, parking garages on our block. So, you know, shopping with us is great. You know, our social media at Running Co. Westchester is for our particular store. Run BMRC is for all of our stores. So we have us, Bryn Mawr, and Media, Delaware Running Company, and Emmaus Run In are also part of our family of stores. You know, it's a great group of stores. I love that we've had customers that have come over from other areas to come shop with us and get a different experience. Going to the other places are, you know, great as well, and you know, have awesome people working there. I mean, it's just been so nice to be a part of this collective. I say we're like the Allen Iverson of the 5 stores. You know, there could be a day where you go, wow, they're putting up numbers, you know, but we are, you know, we pack a punch for our size. So I love being nestled in town here. We have an online store, so you know, BrynMawrRunningCO.com, open 24/7. So you know, shopping there, and yeah, just coming by and saying hi. You know, I just want to, you know, keep connecting with people and sharing the great group of people that we have working here, and you know, just continue to help more people. That's our goal.
Love it. And if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how do you get in touch with you?
Me? So yeah, I mean, I would say email me, ed@BrynMawrRunningCo.com. My own social media is Brittingham Ed. So I post every once in a while.
We'll put all these details down in there. So if you want to reach out to the store or Ed or anybody, we'll put it all in there, and you can follow it along. And it's been great, man. Dude, I love this store.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and it's just, I'm so happy to see this going, and you know, connecting with a great community. So I feel very honored and appreciative to have been asked and be a part of this, and yeah, this is great. So thank you for the opportunity.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude.
Cool. Thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.